We're working to connect a region of over 600 more bridges between our lands.
Hello, Malma Angeles. We're moving to the next stage of the pandemic, and as the world resets to the new normal, we find ourselves seeking the right balance between health and livelihood, constantly adjusting the boundaries between liberty and responsibility. Welcome to ASEAN in Focus. First, several American senators vowed to support the cooperation between Manila and Washington on counterterrorism in the wake of the bombings in Jolo, Sulu that killed 14 and injured nearly 80 on Monday. Several American senators Tuesday vowed to support the cooperation of the counterterrorism efforts in the wake of these bombings in Sulu. Now, U.S. Senators Jim Risch and Bob Menendez of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, along with Senators Jim Inhofe and Jack Reed of the Senate Armed Services Committee, sent condolences to the kin of those killed in the twin attacks reportedly carried out by two Abu Sayyaf group suicide bombers. In Manila, U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Sung Kim, also condoled with the bereaved families as he deplored the terror attack. The Philippine Army believes that the Monday Jolo bombings were carried out by two female suicide bombers motivated by Abu Sayyaf leader Mundi Sawadian or Sawadjaan. Another motive is that these female bombers could be widows of terrorists who were earlier killed or neutralized by government forces. Aside from Washington, the European Union and other countries also joined the Philippines in denouncing the act that resulted in multiple Philippine military and civilian casualties. The Chinese embassy in Manila extended a similar message, saying it was deeply shocked and saddened by the news. Russian Ambassador Igor Kovayev, on the other hand, hoped that the perpetrators behind the attack be brought to justice soon. Meanwhile, British Ambassador to the Philippines, Daniel Pruce, said he stands behind the kin of the blast victims as he underscored the United Kingdom's firm position against terrorism. In a related news, Philippine Army Commander Lieutenant General Kirilito Sobihana identified the two female suicide bombers who carried out the twin bombings in Jolo, Sulu that killed at least 15 people and wounded more than 70 others on Monday. In a message to reporters on Tuesday, Sobihana named the two by their aliases, Nana, and a resident of Basilan, and Inda Anay, a Sulu resident who later relocated to Tawi-Tawi. Sobihana said Nana was the wife of the first confirmed Filipino suicide bomber, Norman Lasuca, who conducted the attack against the 1st Brigade Combat Team in Sulu on June 28, 2019, which left 7 people dead and 12 others wounded. Meanwhile, Inda Anay was the widow of reported Islamic State conduit Abu Talha, who was killed following an encounter with the 1st Scout Ranger Battalion in November 2019. Sobihana said the two female suicide bombers are the same targets being tracked by the group of Major Marvin Indamog, before they were killed by policemen on June 29 of this year. Indamog, Captain Erwin Managuelod, Sergeant Jaime Velasco, and Corporal Abdal Asula were conducting intelligence and monitoring operations against two suspected suicide bombers when they were gunned down by 9 police officers in Jolo, Sulu. All right, we go now to our Silicon Valley Bureau, where Don Orozco will give us an update on the California wildfires. Hello, Don.
Good afternoon, Alma, and good afternoon to all our televiewers, Siyempre, including our Facebook and YouTube subscribers, And just for trivia, Alma, just to give everyone an idea on my report. Ang Philippines is about 116,000 square miles, while California is about 163 square miles. Every year at around this month or sometimes during the start of summer, ang wildfire starts to continue to bring horror to residents in the state of California. As a matter of fact, in 2018, there were about 8,527 na wildfires. 2019, 7,860. Currently, it has just started, pero we are already experiencing 6,871 wildfires. Kaya, if you'll notice, last year, a total of 260 hectares was burned, and now, as of today, there are about 296,000 hectares, which means we have just started, but we have already beaten as to the number of size which has been burned in California. Just to give you an idea, Alma, no?
Yes, give us a better picture, please. Yes.
Okay. Metro Manila, 16 cities, 1 municipality, is around 239 square miles. For the 2020 California wildfire here, it has already burned 490, which means, para sa kalinawan ng karamihan, doble ng Metro Manila ang nasunog na sa California.
Wow.
So that's how.
More than double the size of Metro Manila?
Correct.
Oh my gosh. So, how is our Filipino community doing? Meron ka bang balita sa ating mga kababayan dyan?
The reports are still very sketchy, ano? It is not clear whether there are Filipino families that have been affected by the fire. But a lot of us here, including myself, are in a danger zone. As a matter of fact, we always receive notifications as to the updates on the wildfire because we are actually just very near, several miles away from the wildfire. But again, so far, so good. And hindi pa naman kami affected, although the air is kinda parang foggy. But it is completely different when it comes to COVID.
Okay, so aside from the wildfire, the heat wave, how's the temperature over there, Don? Kumusta naman kayo?
Well, it has
wildfires?
Down. It has mellowed down.
Okay.
Ngayon parang feeling America na uli.
Okay.
Feeling America na uli. And it has already gone down. Kaya lang, again, similar to what you are having there in the Philippines, we are also having a big problem with regards to COVID.
Okay.
Sa COVID, and again, this is just concerning the Filipino community, ano? In Southern California, in LA and San Diego area, di ba? It is said about 33% of Asian death, COVID Asian death,
Okay.
in Southern California is Filipinos. Filipino-Americans, diba? As a matter of fact, there are about 48 Filipinos confined in the hospital. 19 of them already passed away, perished. So, ganun karami. Kaya, so that's how it is when it comes to COVID. And on the overall picture for COVID, again, there are about 5.74 million confirmed cases ng COVID dito. And again, the death is at a really big 177,000. In California, but that's the whole US, ano? In California alone, ang tested positive is 676,000 with about 12,000 deaths. Tapos, here in the Bay Area, Northern California, there are about 80,000, 80,000. At dito sa Silicon Valley, 16,000 ang cases namin dito with about 224 deaths. But then again, there are again no specifics as to any Filipino who has been affected by the wildfire. But a lot of us are in the danger zone.
Okay, so what about the Republican convention? It's their turn now. right? Last
Uh-huh.
week was the Democratic
Yeah.
Convention. Do you have an update on
Uh-huh.
the GOP? Yes.
Alam mo, last week I reported on the DNC, yung Democratic National Convention.
Yes.
And today, this is actually the second day, ano? This is the second day of the Republican National Convention. And ang speakers ngayon ay si Senator Paul Rand, tapos si Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, at tsaka ang highlight ay si First Lady Melania Trump.
Okay.
The first lady who really makes public speeches was one of the few speakers dito sa RNC. And again, ang sentro ng kanyang speech was actually about COVID. Because again, just look at the numbers, it's really high.
Yes.
And then, one of the highlight is the speech of Secretary of State Mike Pompeo dahil sa he was actually breaking diplomatic tradition.
Yes.
He delivered a pre-taped speech from Jerusalem to the Republican National Convention and praised Trump, yung kanyang foreign policy, and of course, attacking Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. Alam mo naman, it will never stop.
Sino bang lamang?
Well, if
Calling
you
the
are a
polls.
Republican, you'll say it's Republican. It's Trump. But if you're the Democrat, they say it's Joe Biden. So hindi natin nalalaman, ano? It is really crazy. And that's the latest so far currently sa wildfire, sa COVID, and the election for November.
All right. Thank you very much, Don, for all those updates there in the U.S. and also regarding our Filipino community. Looking forward to more updates there in the United States, no? Ingat ka because of the wildfire. Yes.
Yeah. So again, reporting live here in Silicon Valley, this is Don Orozco, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Don. Facebook said it would file a legal challenge against a Thai government order to take down a group where pro-democracy activists held discussions about the monarchy, a taboo subject in the country. According to the statement, Facebook was committed to protecting and defending the rights of internet users and preparing to legally challenge this request. We have an update coming in from Crystal Mapa from Bangkok. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, Alma. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, here's the latest updates from Thailand. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha on Tuesday insisted Facebook must abide by Thai law and that he was not faced by the social media giant's threat to sue the government for blocking access to accounts deemed defamatory to the monarchy. General Prayut responded to Facebook's legal threat by saying that all parties must observe the laws of Thailand. He referred to the Royalist Marketplace page on Facebook operated by Pavin Chachavalpongpun and the Facebook page of Somsak Jimtirasakul, both of which contain plenty of sensitive issues related to the monarchy. Mr. Somsak, a former Thammasat lecturer, now lives in self-exile in France after pleading lèse-majesté charges in Thailand, and Mr. Pavin, who now works as a university lecturer in Japan, who is also wanted for lèse-majesté violations. The premier was reacting against a Facebook statement concerning its action against those sensitive pages following a request from the Thai government. In the statement quoted by a spokesperson sent to local media on Tuesday, the social media giant said it was compelled to restrict access to content deemed illegal by the Thai government. The social media platform late on Monday blocked access to the Royalist Marketplace group after the government threatened legal action over failure to take down content deemed defamatory to the monarchy. According to the statement, Facebook was committed to protecting and defending the rights of internet users and preparing to legally challenge this request. Hours before the restrictions, Mr. Pavin set up a new group with a similar name that gained more than 500,000 members in one day. And I quote, "If you want to close it down again, then I'll set up another group. To promote freedom of expression, I would do it," Mr. Pavin told the media. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Don Pramudwinai said that the government could use Thai law to correct any post that violated the law. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much for your updates there in Bangkok. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Likewise, Alma. Thanks for having me today. Reporting live from Thailand, this is Crystal Mapa. We live in interesting times.
Staying in Bangkok, the criminal court has approved the fresh arrest warrant for the heir to the Red Bull billions accused of a fatal hit and run, according to police, following the public outrage after his charges were dropped last month. Bora Youth boss Yu Vidya was accused of killing a police officer in 2012 when he crashed his Ferrari in Bangkok's most exclusive neighborhood. The case dragged on for years, and Bora Youth, grandson of Red Bull co-founder Chileo Yudvidya and one of the heirs to the family fortune, fled the kingdom in 2017. Last month, authorities said all charges against Boss had been dropped, sparking widespread anger, as the Thai public perceived the move as another example of impunity enjoyed by the kingdom's powerful billionaire class. The National Police announced Tuesday that the Southern Bangkok Criminal Court had issued a new arrest warrant for Boss. The three charges on the warrant include reckless driving, causing death, failing to stop his car to help the victim, and failing to immediately inform authorities and illegally taking cocaine. Under growing pressure, the Attorney General's office, police, and the Prime Minister's office each opened probes into the dropped charges. It also led to a rare statement by 8 members of the sprawling Yuvidya clan, considered Thailand's second richest family according to Forbes, who broke ranks to decry it. The Red Bull case served as a fresh conduit for anger against Prayut's administration, which enjoys close alliances with Thailand's billionaire clans as it struggles with a flatlining economy due to the epidemic. 3 provinces in Cambodia were urged to remain alert versus the coronavirus, and the Cambodia-Thailand bilateral trade has reached $4.5 billion. Meldy Mahinay joins us live from Cambodia. Hello, Meldy.
Hi, Alma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Meldy. Go ahead.
Here is the latest update. National Assembly President Samdech Heng Samrin has urged commune chiefs from Tawon Commune, Prebeng, and Sabayriang provinces to maintain precautions against COVID-19. We may forget that COVID-19 exists, but COVID-19 doesn't forget us, he told an annual gathering at his home in Kak Commune, Ponherek district on Monday. Samdech Heng Samrin reiterated the need of people to keep washing their hands with soap or sanitizer, maintain social distancing, and wear masks in public. In addition to commune chiefs, the meeting on Monday included commune councillors from Ponherek district and neighboring district of Kamchay Mayor in Prebeng province and Romihas Hek in Sabayriang province. The annual gathering in Samdech Heng Samrin's ancestor village of Anlong Tray usually takes place immediately after Khmer New Year holidays in April. With growing numbers of COVID-19 cases in March, the holidays were postponed until last week. Meanwhile, Alma, Cambodia-Thailand bilateral trade reaches $4.5 billion on its first 7 months. The two-way trade between Cambodia and Thailand was valued at $4,555 million in the first 7 months of this year, a 10.8% decrease compared to the same period last year. From January to July, Cambodia exported $839 million worth of products to Thailand, a year-on-year decline of 21.13%, according to the figures from Thailand's Ministry of Commerce. Cambodia spent $3,716 million to buy products from Thailand, down by 7.27%. Last year, the bilateral trade between the two neighboring kingdoms rose by 12.28% to $9,418 million, of which Cambodia exported $2,772 million, up by 195%. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much. Meldy, stay safe, stay healthy.
Same to you, Alma. This is Meldy Mahinay, reporting live by Chom Chau, Cambodia. We live in interesting times.
And from Cambodia, let's now go to the island of Maldives. Steffi Diwan joins us live. Hello, Steffi. Okay, we'll get back with Steffi in a little while. The Royal Brunei Navy is a small but relatively well-equipped force whose main responsibility is to conduct search and rescue missions as well as to deter and defend the Brunei waters against an attack. And during RIMPAC 2020 multinational maritime exercise, a small crew from one of its vessels will have that opportunity to hone their skills. Our EBC ASEAN Bureau correspondent has this report. Ralph Wandolph Empire joins us live. Hello, Ralph.
Pleasant afternoon, Alma. The KDB Darulasan is an offshore patrol vessel of the Royal Brunei Navy, or RBN. The Darulasan was built in Germany around the late 2000s. The Darulasan and her sister ship KDB Darussalam were commissioned together on May 4, 2011 at Muara Naval Base. They and two other sister ships serve as offshore patrol vessels. The KDB Darulasan is just one of 22 ships and one submarine, along with multiple aircraft and more than 5,300 personnel currently participating in exercise Rim of the Pacific, or RIMPAC 2020, which began on August 17 and will end on August 31 at sea around the Hawaiian Islands. During the first week of what is considered as the world's largest maritime exercise, the KDB Darulasan participated in maneuvers during division tactics, or DIVTACs, sailing alongside warships from Singapore, New Zealand, and the United States. The said countries are among 10 nations taking part this year, which is significantly smaller due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Still, many young sailors, like the ones you're about to see, express a positive attitude being in this major training event. Take a look.
Aloha, I am Petty Officer Muhammad Firdaus from Brunei Darussalam, serving on board KDB Darussalam as a weapon engineer. Though there are many rewards, my job offers me the opportunity to work together with my fellow shipmates and also sailors from other navies. I enjoy the sense of satisfaction that this job has given me. This is the first time that I have participated in Exercise Impact, and I am excited to see how my experience as a communication and weapons engineer can be developed and improved to fulfill the exercise and ship's demands or requirements. Mahalo.
RIMPAC is an exercise held every 2 years designed to foster and sustain cooperative relationships, critical to ensuring the safety of sea lanes and security in a free and open Indo-Pacific region. The exercise is a unique training platform designed to enhance interoperability and strategic maritime partnerships. RIMPAC 2020 is the 27th exercise in the series that began in 1971. This will be the second time that a Royal Brunei Navy ship is taking part in the RIMPAC exercise series. The first time was back in 2014. KDB Darulasan is scheduled to return to Muara Naval Base on September 27, 2020. Back to you, Alma.
All right, thank you very much for your updates there on the RIMPAC 2020. Thank you, Ralph.
Reporting from the ASEAN Bureau, this is Ralph Wandolph Empire Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
In other news, there is likely only a slim possibility of people being reinfected with COVID-19. That is according to the UN Health Agency, following reports in Hong Kong that a man had contracted new coronavirus for a second time after an interval of more than 4 months. Take a look.
The important thing here is that this is clear documentation. So we've had anecdotal reports every now and then of people who've tested negative then tested positive, and it hasn't been clear up until this case whether that was simply a problem with testing or whether people were getting infected a second time. The other important thing to note is the numbers are very, very small. So this is one documented case in over 23 million, and we will probably see other documented cases, but it seems to be not a regular event. We would have seen many more cases. But it's very important to understand what this means in terms of immunity, and this is why we have got a lot of research groups actually tracking people, measuring antibodies, trying to understand how long the immune protection lasts, the natural immune protection, and that should be understood as it is not the same as the immune protection that a vaccine provides.
Now, researchers in Hong Kong identified what they said was the first confirmed case worldwide of COVID-19 infection, raising questions about the durability of immunity, whether acquired naturally or with a vaccine. Our study proves that immunity for COVID infection is not lifelong. In fact, reinfection can occur quite quickly, according to Kelvin Kai Wang To, a microbiologist at Hong Kong University's Faculty of Medicine and lead author of a forthcoming study that details the findings. He said COVID-19 patients should not assume after they recover that they won't get infected again. He told AFP during an interview. He also advised people who have shaken off the virus that they should practice social distancing, wear masks, and practice hand washing. Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan and his visiting counterpart Retno Marsudi said that Singapore and Indonesia will start discussions on green lane arrangements to resume essential travel between the two neighbors. Singapore's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or MFA, said given the strong business links between the two countries, such an arrangement would allow for essential travel to gradually resume in a manner that would safeguard public health and safety in both countries. According to a report in Straits Times, they also discussed how the two countries can continue to work together to overcome the common challenges brought about by the pandemic. Singapore currently has green lane arrangements with Malaysia and China, and they're also in talks with a number of countries, including Japan. Indonesia, meanwhile, has similar arrangements with essential business travel with China, South Korea, and the United Arab Emirates. ASEAN in Focus will be right back. Welcome back. China said a U.S. spy plane entered a no-fly zone used by the Chinese military for live-fire drills, branding it an act of provocation, according to state media. The U-2 reconnaissance jet's flight over an area in northern China violated safety rules between the two nations, according to Xinhua, citing Chinese Defense Ministry spokesman Wu Qian. The report said the U.S. action could easily have resulted in misjudgments and even accidents. Beijing's anger comes as U.S. and Chinese relations have deteriorated to historic lows, with confrontation simmering on trade, military, and political matters. On the military front, U.S. naval forces regularly conduct operations near Taiwan and in the South China Sea, effectively challenging China's territorial claims. Now, Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara on Tuesday said President Duterte has told him that it would be best for Philippine Health Insurance Corp, or PhilHealth, President and Chief Executive Officer Ricardo Morales to step down over health issues. In a message to reporters, Justice Guevara said that the President took note last night of Morales' on and off health situation and stated that it would be best for the latter and for PhilHealth to give up his post during these critical times for the agency. He also said Executive Secretary Salvador Mendaldea had talked earlier to Morales, who said he would understand if he had to be replaced. President Duterte earlier issued a memorandum directing Guevara to form a task force that will investigate the alleged widespread corruption in PhilHealth. On August 10, Morales filed medical leave upon the advice of his doctor due to lymphoma. The 67-year-old retired Army general was appointed to head PhilHealth in August last year, and after retiring from the Philippine Army in 2009, Mr. Morales became Vice President and General Manager of the Armed Forces of the Philippines General Insurance Corp for a year before becoming President of the AFP Mutual Benefit Association Incorporated. Now, amid widespread reports of corruption in PhilHealth, President Duterte said he would require transactions of various government agencies to be published in newspapers to promote transparency. Take a look.
Not only the COVID mechanism, yung PhilHealth, lahat, DPWH, Agriculture, DND, ipapublish yung mga, so they must prepare well in advance, because I would require them to publish in the newspaper, sa tatlong newspaper of general circulation. Mamili na kayo kung anong newspaper gusto ninyo. Ipapublish ko ito, ang mga bibilihin. At pagkatapos, ipapublish ko, pagkatapos sa notice, sino yung bidders. Ipangalan nila.
The President also promised to go after corrupt PhilHealth officials. Take a look.
One of the things that, few things that I can do in the remaining 2 years of my term, ubusin ko ito yung panahon ko to work on the cases for people who are involved in the PhilHealth.
To Thailand now, Anon Nampa, a prominent activist and human rights Thai lawyer, has been arrested for the third time in relation to the growing tide of youth-led protests that has swept Thailand in recent weeks. Anon is being arrested for his participation in the August 10 rally at Thammasat University, the most controversial rally where most of the speeches revolved around diminishing the king and royal family's power, a taboo subject in the country. Take a look.
สพ.คลองหลวงนะครับก็จะนำหมายจับมาจับตัวไปสอบสวนต่อที่ทางสพ.คลองหลวงนะครับและคงฝากขังให้ทันไปในบ่ายวันนี้ครับเป็นยุทธวิธีการคุกคามของรัฐบาลนะครับที่เป็นเผด็จการทุกประเทศที่เป็นเผด็จการก็จะมีการคุกคามโดยใช้กฎหมายเช่นนี้นะครับซึ่งพวกเราก็พร้อมที่จะต่อสู้นะครับทั้งในกระบวนการยุติธรรมในบนท้องถนนนะครับจนกว่าพวกเราจะได้รับชัยชนะร่วมกัน
All right, we apologize for that. Thai police has arrested several more prominent activists involved in the kingdom's young pro-democracy movement, which is demanding an overhaul of the government and breaking taboos by calling for reforms to the monarchy. The country has seen near-daily rallies for over a month, with some 20,000 turning out at the weekend to vent their anger at the military-aligned government and call for discussions about the royal family's role. ASEAN in Focus will be right back.
Ein sonniger Tag heute hier in Berlin vor dem Bundestag. Ich bin Irene Juliet Arzadon und möchte diese Gelegenheit nutzen, um ein paar Worte mit euch zu teilen. An alle Menschen da draußen. In dieser Zeit lasst uns nicht vergessen, den Menschen zu danken, die ihr Leben für uns opfern. Sei es die Menschen, die im Krankenhaus arbeiten, in den Altenheimen sowie in den Arztpraxen, aber auch an die Menschen, die im Lebensmittelhandel sich befinden. Die Kassierer. Manchmal reicht es aus, um ihnen ein freundliches Lächeln zu geben. Denn die Menschen, die heute am Arbeiten sind, weil sie nicht so wie einige von uns zu Hause bleiben können, die sollten wir wertschätzen. Ihnen sollten wir unseren Dank ausrichten. Darum lasst uns noch mehr zusammenhalten. Sie wertschätzen.
Hello, my name is Robin and I'm 5 years old. My mom and dad said many people are getting sick. That is why we have to stay at home. That is why I cannot go to school. I cannot play outside. And I cannot even visit my friends. We can only go outside if we visit the doctor or if we need to buy some food. And when we get home, we have to wash our hands. While I'm at home, I do my homework, clean up my toys, help cooking our food, and help my parents with their work. Please stay home so we can all play together again. Bye!
Welcome back. South Korea's LG Electronics has temporarily shut a factory near Indonesia's capital after some 200 employees contracted coronavirus, according to the company and a local official. The Sibitung plant, which makes televisions and digital sign parts, will shut for 9 days after about a third of its 600 employees tested positive. LG would come up with disinfection measures for the entire property for the safety and health of its employees, according to a statement. It added the corporation has tested all its employees working at the factory, and only those who tested negative are to return to work next week. The corporation also said that it plans to strengthen social distancing and safety measures. A spokesman for the region's coronavirus task force said the plant on the outskirts of Jakarta could be shut for as long as 14 days if it's deemed unsafe for employees to return to work. Indonesia had reported over 150,000 coronavirus cases and 6,858 deaths, but with some of the world's lowest testing rates, the true scale is widely believed to be much greater. Indonesian media outlets critical of the government's coronavirus response have been hit by a series of computer hacking attacks that the International Federation of Journalists, or IFJ, slammed as a threat to press freedom. At least 4 organizations have been targeted in an unprecedented series of digital attacks recently, which could be aimed at restricting critical reporting and suppressing media freedom, according to the group in a statement. The statement added the IFJ is gravely concerned by these hacking incidents and that they call on authorities to conduct a thorough investigation. These online attacks, it said, impede press freedom by creating a climate of fear that could lead to self-censorship. On Friday, the website of major media outlet Tempo was replaced with a black screen with the word hoax in bold red font, while several articles critical of the Indonesian intelligence agency's role in the epidemic response were removed from outlet Tirto's website. It wasn't clear who was behind the attacks, and neither the police nor the National Intelligence Agency replied to requests for comment. Epidemiologist Pandu Riono has had his Twitter account hacked after criticizing a government university research collaboration that he said fell below international standards. The Indonesian embassy in Canberra last week criticized an Australian media report that quoted Riono as saying that the world's 4th most populous nation may already have 1 million virus cases, over 6 times the official figure. Indonesia had reported over 150,000 COVID-19 cases and 6,759 deaths. But with some of the world's lowest testing rates, the true scale widely believed to be much greater. An aid to humanity in Willow Center in Canada. Goodie bags for the elderly. Officials of the land participated in the event. Here's Kathleen May Pangan for the report.
The members of the Iglesia ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, are delighted in celebrating their 106th anniversary today, July 27, 2020, by giving care packages to those who are in need here in Willow Center, number 61 Tyndall Avenue, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The Iglesia ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, through the leadership of their Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, through the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, continues to show their love and care for the people who are affected because of the COVID-19 virus.
My name is Shannon Sakota, and I'm the property manager of Willow Center Incorporated. I think it's an excellent program, and we're very happy that you chose to come here and help our seniors, and we appreciate everything that you're doing for the seniors in our community, and we'd like to thank the Church of Christ.
Despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the members are extremely inspired and motivated by their Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, to help and show their love and care to their fellow men through the Aid to Humanity Outreach Program.
Thank you so much po, Kay Eduardo po, for your love to all of us. As we celebrate the 106th anniversary of the church, we feel your love for all of us. And we are so thankful po that you love us so much. From Manitoba, we would also like to extend our love po and our hearts and our loyalty. And on this day, we pray that we were able to bring glory to our Lord God and always po extend your love to the community here in Manitoba. The residents, those that have helped us, Kevin Lamoureux and Cindy Lamoureux and Malaya Marcelino po, they extend their thanks to the church for all that we have done to the community. And this is because you have taught us po. And under your leadership, we are so thankful that we are able to reach out to the community and show how much the Church of Christ truly loves our fellow men. We love you so much po.
Well, you know, a few things come to mind, and first and foremost, today actually marks a really important day because it marks 106 years of the Church of Christ. And here the Church of Christ is doing community events throughout the entire world. And today we happen to be in Winnipeg, and what makes this event extra special and close to heart for me is it's in the constituency I have the honor of representing inside of the Manitoba Legislature. And the event today is one of very many Aid for Humanity events that the Church of Christ and Brother Eduardo put on throughout the year, many times throughout the year, and it's just an opportunity to give back to the community. I'm happy 106 years, Church of Christ, and thank you for your continuous work.
We're here at the Forks in the center of Canada in Winnipeg, Manitoba. My name is Malaya Marcelino, and I'm the member of the legislature here in the province of Manitoba. I'd like to give my sincere congratulations to the brethren of INC worldwide under the faithful leadership of your Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Congratulations on your 106th anniversary. May you grow and continue to prosper and to continue the good works that you're doing to aid humanity here in Canada and around the world. Congratulations on your 106th.
The Iglesia ni Cristo indeed is a positive force in society to members and non-members alike. Reporting for Eagle News from Manitoba, Canada, I am Kathleen May Pangan. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Kathleen May Pangan from our EBC Canada Bureau. And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations and beyond. Stay updated about the region. I'm Alma Angeles. We live in interesting times.